Hello, my name is Jana Clement, and today I will be addressing a very common and important question on the use of pre-workout supplements and their effect on strength and training. For those of you listeners out there who are just about into the conversation, my client asked specifically, does taking one serving of pre-workout 20 minutes prior to exercise for 3 weeks improve my strength and training? It's a great question, and surprisingly, there's quite a bit of research on the topic. Pre-workout comes in many different forms and flavors and is distributed by a variety of supplement companies. What is important in your case to look at is specifically the ingredients of the supplement itself. Some pre-workouts are stronger than others, and in your case, an intermediate resistance training athlete, it's safe to start with something on the lower scale. The important ingredients to look for are caffeine, creatine, and branched-chain amino acids, also known as BCAAs. It might be safe to start with a less extreme pre-workout to see how your body reacts. Some of these less extreme pre-workout supplements are distributed by Optimum Nutrition, the GNC store brand, or Jim Stepani. A typical dose of caffeine in a pre-workout like Jim's is 300 milligrams per serving. In a more extreme pre-workout, like maybe will be labeled as Mr. Hyde or Stars and Stripes, the caffeine content is about 420 milligrams per serving. My best advice is to look for those key ingredients, and we'll talk about why they're key in a few minutes. I recommend that you start with the serving of a lesser extreme supplement and see how you react first. You can always discuss with me later if you have any questions prior to jumping to a different brand. A lot of people like to use pre-workout for different reasons. Whatever their motive is pushes them to take pre-workout before getting started in the gym. It's important to also decide when to take your supplement prior to exercise. Some people consume 10 minutes prior to exercise, while others take it 45 minutes prior to exercise. It sounds like you're interested in meeting in the middle there at 20 minutes, which is just fine. That's actually when I take mine too. Research has been conducted on the topic of pre-workout timing consumption, but it's not clear on what the best timing to take it is. Like I said, even the experimental designs range from 10 to 30 minutes prior to exercise. Along with motivation and energy, pre-workout has been known to increase strength and training performance, which is good for you because that's what your focus is, right? So there are a variety of measurements that can support the use of pre-workout, and let us quantify the results. Pre-workout supplements have been known to improve VO2 max, 1 repetition maximum testings, alertness and motivation, and even fatigue. But probably one of the more quantifiable measurements is the 1 rep max test, which allows us to measure strength and training performance after the consumption of pre-workout. The 1 rep max test is usually conducted on one specific or multiple specific exercises prior to the pre-workout consumption. For the sake of your question, let's say we are testing your squat, bench press, and deadlift exercises. What we'll do is document your 1 rep max for each of these exercises by seeing how much weight you can lift for 1 repetition, maximizing your strength to the best of your ability. We'll have you consume 1 serving of pre-workout prior to your exercise and training plan, 20 minutes prior to the start of your workout. And after your 3-week training regimen, we'll test your 1 rep max again. If your weight lifted increases from the first time, we can assume that pre-workout has assisted in your strength and training and improved your results. I know you're thinking that assumptions are not the best way to measure this, and I agree. So let's discuss a little bit further some past research that's actually supported this idea. A 2010 study was conducted to determine the effects of pre-workout supplement containing caffeine, creatine, and BCAAs during 3 weeks of high-intensity exercise on aerobic and anaerobic performance. Smith and his colleagues had 24 men around the ages of 21 years consume 1 serving of pre-workout powder 30 minutes prior to exercise. The participants were working out about 3 days a week, which is what I know you're looking to do. According to the researchers, caffeine acts as a central nervous system augmentee. Basically, it assists in promoting fat utilization and results in an improvement in performance. It also has been used as a stimulant, reducing feelings of fatigue and increasing time of exhaustion. However, a limiting factor of caffeine and its presence in pre-workout is that relatively high levels of urinary caffeine concentrations are banned by both the NCAA and the IOC. This fact might be important to specific athletes competing in these leagues, but probably not for you at this time. An additional consideration is that the athlete's prior caffeine and supplementation use, due to immunity and the body's adaptation to the dosage already, could be a limiting factor to the effects of pre-workout. If you want to talk about this, let me know. We can go further into it. Smith and his colleagues discuss how creatine supplementation is effective for improving maximal intermediate exercise and lean body mass. Additionally, that BCA ingestion prior to exercise has augmented protein synthesis, which basically means it's enhancing recovery time. Results of this study showed that an increase in VO2 max and total training volume were higher in the group who consumed the pre-workout than the ones who didn't. Gonzalez et al. In 2011 completed a similar study, measuring the effects of pre-workout energy supplement on acute multi-joint resistance exercise. Participants ingested a pre-workout known as Amino Impact, this one 10 minutes prior to exercise. They performed one of two exercises, either the squat or the bench press, and measured their 1 rep max. Focus, energy, and fatigue were also measurements. They found that the consumption of a pre-workout enhanced the total number of reps performed and the average power output for each reps. It was greater in those who took the supplement, the pre-workout, than those who didn't. A different research team, Spradley and his colleagues, in 2012 tested a different type of pre-workout called Assault. 12 recreationally trained males between the ages of 23 and 33 ingested one serving, and the researchers measured muscular endurance through 1 rep max testing, aerobic and anaerobic capacity, and reaction time. They found that when caffeine, creatine, and BCAAs are ingested together, the ingredients work to enhance various aspects of performance. The overall result for this study by Spradley and his colleagues showed an increase in performance in both the muscular endurance and the reaction time. The fact that this supplement had multiple ingredients, though, other than the 3 main ones of caffeine, creatine, and BCAAs, makes it really challenging to truly identify which specific ingredients contributed to that improved performance. This can be known as a limiting factor when we look at pre-workout supplementation. A final study by Shelmadine and his colleagues in 2009 looked at the effects of a pre-workout supplement called NO Shotgun over 28 days, so about 4 weeks. The free weight bench press and leg press exercises both increased with training, which led them to conclude that the pre-workout that they took, the supplementation, beforehand was effective at increasing fat-free mass, muscle strength, and mass. However, this study did raise some concerns about the long-term safety of creatine supplementation. Studies consisting of durations of 9 weeks to 5 years have not found clinically significant deviations from normal values in our cardiac, hepatic, or renal safety markers in healthy individuals. But it's another factor to consider, or a limiting factor to look at when you're looking at pre-workout. So as you can see, to wrap it up, there have been plenty of researchers who are interested in the topic of pre-workout supplementation and its effect on strength, training, performance, and other aspects such as alertness, motivation, or fatigue. I hope after reviewing some of these studies with me, you're more confident that the consumption of pre-workout 20 minutes prior to exercise will improve your performance. Bottom line is that everyone is motivated to start taking a pre-workout supplementation for a different reason. When you're choosing a supplement, make sure to look at the ingredients. Discuss your choice of pre-workout with me, one of the other trainers in the gym, your peers and colleagues who've used it also. Lastly, know your limitations with the supplement and trust yourself. If something doesn't feel right or you don't like the way that a certain pre-workout is making you feel, then stop taking it and move forward to a different one. Discuss with your physician or with your trainers. Lastly, if you really want to track your improvements in strength and training, measure your before 1 rep max with the exercises of your choice. And then after the 3 weeks, measure the 1 rep max again. I would love to help you out with that. Just let me know when we need to set that up. And as always, I'm here if you need questions. Good luck.